Yes, sir. Welcome back to another Trap or Die film session. I'm your Trap or Die podcast, Molly Mall, and listen, let's go ahead and talk about your boy, Jake Martin. If you all remember, we did a film session a few months ago. The new additions to the defensive line, Jake Martin was one of them. Jacob Martin, previously at Chicago, now with Washington. A really good day against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think it's important to show Jake specifically because of the pass rush situations from the edge. Who's going to step up? Washington did sign Von Miller, and that's going to help a lot. But who else is around him on that edge, right? You're talking about these interior guys, Javon Kinlaw, Daron Payne, Johnny Newton, right? Like, those are your interior guys, but who is on the edge? Who are your speed rushers? Who are your specialists? Jake is somebody who is showing, especially against Cincinnati, that he can provide your juice just as much as your boy from last year that plays with the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that's important for Washington moving forward to get some help for Von and the other guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look into Jake Martin and what he brought against Cincinnati Bengals, his pass rush skill set, and what that can look like for Washington in the regular season. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, Trap or Die Films as it starts right now. All right, so I think a third down rep for Washington and good processing and awareness from Jake Martin initially, right? You're talking about slipping the chip while maintaining upfield ground. And then you're just talking about motor here, right? So it's not necessarily a pass rush move per se. Like, it's nothing spectacular in that aspect. But you can see his motor. You can see how he's moving. He's intentional with every step, right? Aware of that chip. He's not going to get hit. He's going to maintain his up ground, get some pressure against Orlando Brown, who I like as a left tackle. I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on him if you're kind of familiar with his game. But I like Orlando Brown, so I think this was a good matchup for him a couple times. So again, just the awareness to slip that chip from Samaje Perine. And then you get a 12-yard sack, 12-yard loss on the sack. All right, now we get into the use of hands, right? Hand placement and things like that. This is a good speed to power conversion. Just see the chops, sometimes you can call them foot fires, I don't know. However defensive people call it, but just the choppy steps, right, to gather that power that he's going to drive into Orlando Brown. You can see him get there. Ball is out, but a good drive to get into the quarterback. Really good rep from Jake Martin again. And again, we're talking about placement, right? Hand placement, leverage, like that, where he's at right now. Just being able to drive that offensive lineman back. He's able to catch Brown with his hands out wide and get straight into his chest. That's just as simple as pushing him and driving him back. Again, more use of hands, right? You're talking about now from a 2-point stance outside of your tackle. This isn't Orlando Brown. But again, dominating your opponent is very important. Ball is out quickly, but you see the rep from Jake Martin getting the quarterback hit. You get your chop rip, right? Good burst off the line. That's consistently what you see with Jake Martin, regardless if he gets to the quarterback or not. Has that good burst, the good bend, right? You can see him with his ankles. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but you can just see how he corners, right? And just closes on the quarterback. That's a quick close right there. Really good rep again from Jake Martin. In the timing, right? You see that offensive lineman in his set stick that arm out. Jake times it perfectly, get the chop, swipe that arm down, and rip through. Just a really good rep from Jake. All right, now in this one, you see Jake on the outside again of 60. 2-point stance again. This is close towards the end of the second half. End of the second quarter. But they're running a twist game, right? This is between Jake and 90. I think that's Sheldon Day. But Jake is crashing inside and Sheldon is looping around him, right? But I think it's just a good processing moment because when you see kind of the split right here, right, you would expect Jake to crash into the guard if they're running a twist game of sorts. But Jake just uses his athleticism. Why can't I not say athleticism? here in this moment to get through the guard tackle gap and pressure the quarterback. There's no reason he should have caught that pass, by the way, but we're not focused on that. That's creating havoc right there. That's his burst. That's his acceleration, like that closing speed that we talked about in the last rep. He's creating havoc in the pocket for that quarterback. And I think for Washington, you can't help but be excited for what he can bring to the table. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this film session with Jake Martin. Just wanted to show a few reps to show where he is and the type of rusher, pass rusher you're going to get with Jake, especially if you are unfamiliar with him. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, of course, as always. But just understand with Jake moving forward, his pass rush packages, like Washington, even in the Cincinnati game, mainly utilized him. I think he had 17 reps, 18 reps against Cincinnati Bengals. 14 were pass rush reps. And I think that is his main purpose here in Washington, is to get home to the quarterback. So I understand Washington has a plan for their pass rushers, their pass rush specialists. And I think when you see Von and Jake Martin on the field at the same time, that is something that you should look forward to, that they're going to try to get home. More than likely than not, they have a really good shot of doing so. Jake Martin has good hand usage. He actually even trains with Von Miller in the offseason. So they're not unfamiliar with one another. Good hand usage, good burst, which will always threaten the offensive tackle if you can get off the line really quickly and threaten those guys. And then you have, if you can time your hand rush, or you're playing with your hands with how the offensive lineman is playing you, you'll always have a good shot to beat them. That's what I should say. That's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time, man. Y'all take it easy. All the good stuff. Peace.